Hello everybody and welcome back. It is I, again, for the most recent time, the failed author. If you like Battlefield 3, you like Call of Duty, random YouTube shorts, bowling videos, what have you, general, randomness, you're in the right place. So today we have the MTAR on Battlefield 3. I just noticed, and like thinking nostalgically about Battlefield 3, it was always 870 ASVAL. But man, I think I slept on the engineer class way too much. Way too much. The AN91, the MTAR, the G36C, those are some of the best guns in the game, or at least ones that the M4, that thing is so good too. So man, I feel like I really slept on it. But you know, when you're good with like something, or you feel like comfortable using a certain weapon, you know, like obviously you're gonna run it, right? But here is the MTAR, and this is quite a beast, you know. This is the chode, right? This thing is short, it's stocky, it's circumference, it's girthy, but it's also very effective, and it shoots fast, you know. Very relatable. I'm just kidding. But very relatable in a lot of ways, you know. But here we are, again, North Shore Canals. Because that's really all you can do to get good clips, at least when you're a cruddy player like me. Put a clickbaity title, we get like over 50 kills. Trying to do that in all the Battlefield 3 stuff, you know, like, oh my gosh, sniping in 2024, wow. 100 plus kills in 2024, wow. Wow. You know, maybe I'll start putting meme sounds in here. I'm not. This is not really for you so much as it's for me. These videos are for me. I can go back, I can watch, I can enjoy Battlefield 3. Again, if you're watching this whenever you are, and it's before November, I think 7th, 2024, this game is still available, but if you're watching after November 7th, this game is not available. Now, one thing you'll see when I'm using this, for whatever reason, I decide to have a laser sight, and I never really equip with the laser or run the laser, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And if you notice, I keep turning it off, because as good as the laser sight is for the hip accuracy, which can be debated how great it is, I think there is improvement. Is it enough for me to like warrant having it? It's another story for another day, I suppose. But I turn it off because, and especially in North Shore, like the laser is so you know, visible, like these tight quarters. It's a problem. It's a problem. Now there is a weapon I wish I was really good with, the M16, because it is so good. It is so dang good that you know, I really wish. I mean, I think I have some clips. I think I have certain video clips of me using the M16. I don't even think they're like me using it proficiently either. But it is just so good. The fire rate is pretty awesome. The reload speed is the fastest in the game, and it's not so trivial. But it's not only the fastest in the game, it's the fastest with, you know how like there's two different animations. There's one for when there's a bullet in the chamber still, and there's one, you know, when you're in a completely empty mag. When you're reloading with one bullet in the chamber in the M16, that sucker reloads so fast. It's great. It's great. Great. We're actually doing pretty good here because this gun actually is pretty good. Now, mind you, I'm not pretty good. So when I get stuff cooking like this, we're like, boy howdy. Especially when it's not like a shotgun. I feel like, at least with the shotguns, I got a dog in the fight on North Shore. I mean, who doesn't really, but at least for me, you know, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Now, that is one, like the tac light, you know, that thing actually can be pretty efficient. Like, look, we started 9-0 players. Like, what? What? It's not happening again anytime soon now. As of time of recording, this is late August, not super late, 21st. Don't know when this will go up. But I just have to say, everybody, I am so ready for football season. Unfortunately, I am a Minnesota Vikings fan, so like, I'm ready to be hurt again. I'm not expecting much this season. You know, we got Sam Darnold at quarterback. We'll see what he can do. You know, we'll see. But it's almost like we feel like this is the cycle of a Minnesota Vikings fan. I always joke because as a Vikings fan, your Super Bowl isn't the playoffs. Your Super Bowl isn't the Super Bowl. Your Super Bowl is the NFL draft. And as you know, if you're an NFL fan and you know anything about the Vikings, we picked the quarterback this year. And of course, I torn meniscus, out for the season. So there's that. Let's just run it down. Let's break it down the Minnesota offseason real quick. Rookie quarterback, played great first preseason game, threw a pick, came back, scored 2 touchdowns, bounced back, actually looked pretty good. 4th round draft pick, Tyree Jackson, rest in peace. He was killed in an automobile accident as a passenger in the vehicle, which is horrible. He was visiting his hometown with his friends. Horrible. So you got your 4th round corner, who by all accounts was playing, well in training camp and was very liked by his teammates. And not that would change it, because someone dying is just awful no matter what. It just kind of makes it just not much worse. So we got those 2. We got Jordan Addison, young stud wide receiver going into year 2. Another DUI. Okay, that's two consecutive off seasons with automobile problems. Driving issues. Last year he got clocked going like what? I swear like 150, like a crazy speed, 135, like something crazy. This year he gets a DUI. Was so intoxicated that he was passed out behind the steering wheel on an on-ramp to the freeway, like a turn lane. We're like, oh, that's fantastic. Let's see here, because I'm missing something. Oh yeah, Mekhi Blackman, our one of our projected starting corners, probably in slot, torn ACL. That's always fun. Shaquem Griffin, who was playing well in camp, projected to be a starter, if not a main contributor on the defense at corner. Another injury. And that's just the stuff I haven't blocked out, So, needless to say, I'm still excited. I don't know why. I guess, if you play fantasy football, that supplements your team's crudiness, especially if you can wield a good team and you're not getting beat down every week. It gives you something to be invested in if your team's doing bad. So let me know in the comments, are you playing fantasy football this year? If so, who are you trying to pick? Who did you pick? It could have been happening. I know my mock draft is this Sunday. This one Sunday. Oh, how fun. Yeah, it's very fun. Can't wait. I'm the 10th pick. I'm the turn. It's a 10-man leagues, full PPR. I don't know. I've had the turn 2 years in a row, and I know it's random, and it's like I got so burnt last year in the turn. I had Travis Kelce and Cooper Kupp. And, of course, it's the first year Kelce didn't get like 100 receptions. And, of course, Cooper Kupp off the Triple Crown gets hurt. Oh, yeah. Oh, the years. I still finished 3rd in the league with that. So I'll say we drafted a deep team, but it just, the horses... they just weren't enough. The other team, they were really pulling that, dragging that anchor, and mine was just getting held down. So there's that. But I'm excited nonetheless, and I know that's all about Battlefield. So I'm so glad we're talking about Battlefield. But I love the MTAR. I love the weapon in real life. If you look in this account, there's some weapon stuff, and I actually haven't had the luxury of actually shooting the IWI MTAR, or Tavor as they call it, right? Tavor, not MTAR. Civilian model, right? I really want to. I really want one, but I'm such a jabroni when it comes to that stuff. Like, you won't catch me dropping big bucks on something stupid like a firearm. And there's gonna be people that hear that and go like, "What are you talking about? It's not stupid." And I'm like, "Listen, dude, just hear me out." Even in law enforcement, briefly a part of, and I mean so microscopically, I will tell you right now, there's people that get their service pistol. Mine was a Glock 17, okay? They issued me a weapon, right? Glock 17. Would have worked, would have ran that my entire career, would have not had a single issue. That's like a $550 civilian weapon. That would have been great. It's a great firearm, everybody knows it. Now, you get jabronis in the police force, right? Wherever, and I'm telling you, your police force, where you live, there's going to be this guy on the police squad, the force, the boys, the feds, right now. That has a $2,000 1911. I guarantee it. Now, you got to ask yourself, why would he have that? Now, I talked to some of these officers, these bubbas, these absolute giga-checks. They were like, well, it's cool. And I was like, we're done here. We're done here. It's cool? Oh my god. That's like what happens when you get... you know, it's like, I'm now an adult with adult money. I want to buy like $300 worth of Pokemon cards or something that like you felt like you couldn't do when you were a kid. You know what happens when you give certain people too much money? They buy a $2,000 1911. They're like, I need a staccato. It's gonna keep the streets clean. John Wick has a staccato. I'm sorry, he has a pit viper. I need a pit viper. Whatever it is, I don't know. I've never even seen John Wick, but I know of the obsession for the weapons. And that always kind of like turned me off, even in my brief time, and even before my brief time, because you have to do a lot to get on the police force. Some you may know, you may not know. And I remember talking to this officer when I was at a chiropractor's office, and getting the old back cracked, you know. And I go to the chiropractor not as a fucking jabroni. Like, the chiropractor, it feels good because he's like literally cracking your back, and your body's like releasing, you know, gases, which in turn has your brain release endorphins. And the chiropractor I go to, essentially he's like giving you like a deep tissue massage, like getting knots out. Like, that's why I go. Like, I had this fucking lady that I went to school with that would only take her daughter to a chiropractor. It's like, oh, my daughter has a cold. I took her to a chiropractor. And I was like, oh, what for? Confused. She's like, oh, to get adjusted. And I was like, okay. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, that gets rid of the cold. And I was like, holy shit. Like, all right, then, go off. Like, I'm going to have to look into that because it looks sketchy, sounds sketchy. But back to my gripes here. This is we're ranting now. We're done. You can watch the nice gameplay. You can see I'm balling a little bit here. Not too great, but not too bad. But I was talking to this jabroni officer. Of course, he's fat and old and a white guy. Like, does that surprise like anyone? No, right? Like, of course not. And he was talking about like, for whatever reason, the chiropractor was like, oh, he's joining the police force, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, it's like uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about it. And the guy was like, oh, cool. And I just. Because it's like I have like weasel tests to see if somebody's like a jabroni or a weasel, and he failed immediately. He failed the weasel test. I was like, hey, what do you carry on duty? 1911. And I was like, what do you got? And he said like an Ed Brown, and I was like, an Ed Brown? Like like a $1,500 like 1911. It doesn't help you shoot more accurate. You should look up the numbers, the accuracy numbers. It's like when like you have all these idiots on YouTube. Like these gravy seals, these fucking fake tacticals that have never even sniffed being in like military or in law enforcement. Fucking couldn't even hold a jockstrap. Wouldn't even pass the fucking PT test. Wouldn't even be invited. Would get fucking dog walked in their side evals. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Bro, they like hooked me up like a fucking gerbil. They like straight shaved my chest at the doctor's office and had me running on a treadmill. And they were like, hey, just go. Don't stop. I'm like, what? I've already passed the PT. Let's go. All right. Hell yeah. I was like, is this a test? I just kept running. They got fucking bored and they were like, all right, you can stop now. I was like, oh, okay. I thought this was a test. So why'd you make me run 38 minutes straight, you know? So weird. But, you know, in life, you're going to come across a lot of weasels. Just remember, you gotta have your own checks and balances, your own weasel test, you know, whatever it is. My weasel test was just ask what you ask a cop who's like there and he's doing his job, and like I knew this guy he loved his Glock 22, and I said, there you go, boom, affordable, accurate, great, can hardly break the sound of the gun. This guy probably not the worst jabroni you've ever met, you know, guy carrying around the staccato. The Viper, the Ed Brown. I don't know, man. I don't know. When you gotta go to your police chief and get that shit approved, like, I don't know, man. You call me whatever you want, dude. And I get, like, you shoot what's comfortable for you, you know, so I ain't gonna dog you, like, 100%. I know I've been making fun of them, but something that tells me that a $2,000 1911 seems a little much, you know, just a little. Personally, I wanted a 10 millimeter, but that's because I'm about that. The 10 millimeter is crazy, and if you've ever shot a 10 millimeter, yeah, a little snappy, but I mean, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It feels like pretty much just like. Maybe not as snappy as a 40. It's like a more powerful .40 caliber, but not as snappy, because you like feel how powerful it is. You know, it's pretty impressive that they get those ballistics out of those. Man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, what are we talking about? Battlefield 3, right? Oh, the years. You know. By the way, I'm the failed author. If you made it this far, and I've been toying around with. I have the Instagram page, but I've been really like toying around with this idea of talking about just the human experience and life in general on my Instagram page. I suppose I could just post the same videos on my YouTube page, but and maybe just keep them as like shorts or clip them as shorts and then link the full video to my Instagram or something along those lines. But I don't know, I've just been wanting to engage and talk to people about different things about life in general. You know, like, I'm educated enough. You know, I got a couple degrees under my belt. Social sciences, okay? Like, I feel like I've written and read enough to feel like at least semi-competent in that regard as far as like having an education or background, but that's not what excites me. What excites me more is the things that I have a hard time explaining that seem almost completely individualistic, but they are almost universal when explained or discussed with others, and I kind of want to get there. I kind of want to get a conversation going. I guess like when you're starting something like that, you know, it's kind of weird, like, hey, come rant with me. Hey, let's talk about deeply ingrained societal issues, or let's talk about very organic personal problems and experiences. Like that, that's like, you're almost setting yourself up to get like, bitched at, I don't know. But I think it would be fun. I think just like Battlefield 3 with the MTAR, I think it would be fun. You notice I switched to the holographic side? I think that's the move. I almost feel like depending on the weapons. Okay, so if you're using a weapon with lower recoil, the red dot will get you there for sure. And then, you know, the holographic will even have, like, in my opinion, right, less jumpy of a reticle, where this thing, that the fire rate makes it that red dot sight goes straight to the sky, right? Now this, it's not like much better, but I find it noticeably better. So, you know, for example, the M16 or the Scars 8, you can use whatever you'd like. If you want to use the red dot, use it. If you want to use the hollow, use it. There's not a big enough difference in there for me to really justify saying one over the other. Just like a $2,000 Staccato isn't going to be that different than like a Colt Series 80. And people will say like, blah, 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 but what about this or what about that? And I'm like, listen, like, get you, I don't know, a Springfield Armory 1911 with just a light rail on it. Okay, we're like officers. We're not whipping out the nickel-plated Super 38 Colt, okay, because it's cool. That's just weird. I won't get over that. You ever have any weird experiences at work that make you have a range moment like this? Or your industry where you're like, God, like people in my field, my job, my field, they do this, I can't stand it, you know? I mean, like, we all do. So drop a comment if you made it this far. Let me know what bugs you at your profession or former profession. In my case, they did not do it and did not pursue law enforcement after I was hired. I went there for a little bit, said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Adios, muchachos. And nothing against the people that hired me. They're all very nice. Just once that I got there, I just knew. I knew this isn't for me, brother. This is not it. I don't have $2,000 to cut money. I don't have Ed money. Ay. But yeah, let me know if there's a certain weapon too you want to see from Battlefield 3. Who's watching this shit in 19 minutes in? I don't know what you're doing this time. I applaud you. We had a good old rant session, but yeah, the Instagram, okay? Same name. Go to Instagram, @FailedAuthor. I don't know how I missed that many shots there. A little frustrating. And I know like sometimes the foregrip almost gives like an accuracy debuff, which is weird. But in a case like the MTAR, you almost feel like you need it because it recoils so bad. So you're in quite a pickle, you know. You put on the heavy barrel, get the bullets there a little bit faster, but I don't know. I don't know, it's a fickle game. It's definitely not like 2012, 2011. It's totally changed. I mean, obviously, so many years later. What is that? 13 years old? Fun fact, I will be uploading a tack knife. Modern Warfare 2, OG1, 2009. Tack knife montage. Don't expect too much, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There is an instance where I get a 7-piece, and that's pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm the failed author. I think I'm done ranting. I think this video is just me bitching about my life. What's new? What's new? Use the MTAR. I'll try and get a video with... There's 2 guns in the engineer class, but I just cannot seem to get like a full-length video, and I have with both, which is frustrating, where it's like a good video in general, or just have it saved to my thumb drive. And like the AN-91, it was a rush game. I was defending. I was cooking 64 kills and like under or right above 20 deaths, and I was like, oh man. They gave me the hex clad, and Chef Ramsay told me to cook, and I did. And now I can't show everyone, and that makes me sad, Pander. So, and it was on Turan Highway, which I love Turan Highway, and it never gets in the rotation. The Europeans play that. You got to get up mad early sometimes to play with the Europeans, because you know they're on that different time zone. Why didn't they warn us about 9/11? They're in the future, but that's a story for another video. So I'm the failed author. Let me know. I'm trying to get the G36C and the A91. The A91 is probably my favorite. It's not the coolest looking for sure, you know. It just sound like the Joey Bubba cops, but this is a video game, so that's completely acceptable. Aesthetics are fine here. This is not real life. But I'm the failed author. Follow my Instagram. I haven't posted anything except for one video that went viral on TikTok, but it did not go viral on Instagram. Go figure. Thank you for watching and listening to me rant. I hope you have a great day. And goodbye.
make it now.